Sears was once the largest retailer in the United States, and it was a symbol of American prosperity and consumer culture for over a century. From its humble beginnings as a mail-order catalog to becoming a retail giant, Sears seemed unstoppable. But as we all know, things changed drastically, and today, Sears is a shadow of its former self. What exactly went wrong? How did a company that once revolutionized shopping and dominated retail collapse so badly? Today, we're going to take a look at one of the most dramatic business stories in American history, so make sure to stick around till the end. The story of the company of Sears started in 1886 with a man named Richard Warren Sears. Richard was working as a railroad station agent in Minnesota when he received a shipment of watches that a local jeweler refused. He saw an opportunity in the situation and then decided to sell the watches at a profit. This was what also gave him the idea to start his own business. Not long after, Richard Sears met Alva Curtis Roebuck, who was a watchmaker, and together they formed what would become the R.W. Sears Watch Company. Sears was different from the very beginning because of its mail-order catalog. This catalog was basically a printed booklet or magazine sent to customers by companies like Sears, and it had pictures, descriptions, and prices of different kinds of products. Customers could browse the catalog, select items they wanted to buy, and then place orders by mail. In a time when rural Americans had limited access to goods, Sears made a wide variety of products available through its catalog. The company sold everything from clothing to farm equipment, making it possible for customers to order by mail and have goods delivered directly to their homes. By the late 1800s, the Sears catalog was a household staple, offering over 500 pages of products, and you have to understand just how revolutionary this was at the time. They were offering a service that no other company was offering, and it gave them so much potential for success. Sears wasn't just selling products, it was selling convenience and access while changing the way Americans shopped. The company was also able to build trust with its customers with its money-back guarantee policy, making it one of the most innovative companies of its time. But this was just the beginning for Sears, as they still had a lot of growing up to do. The 20th century was what you could call the true golden era of Sears. As urbanization increased and more people moved to cities, Sears decided to really take advantage of this shift by opening physical retail stores. In 1925, it opened its first store in Chicago, combining its catalog business with brick and mortar retailing. This hybrid approach was revolutionary and also positioned Sears as a leader in both worlds. During the 1930s and 1940s, Sears continued to expand its product offerings and its number of retail locations. It catered to the growing middle class with affordable prices and a wide selection of products including appliances, tools, clothing, and automotive parts. The famous Sears brand Craftsman became synonymous with quality tools, while Kenmore, its line of home appliances, became a household name. By the mid-20th century, Sears had truly become an American institution. Its stores were everywhere, usually serving as anchor tenants in shopping malls all over the country. The company was so successful that it built the Sears Tower in Chicago in 1973, the tallest building in the world at the time. And this building was a literal and symbolic representation of Sears' towering dominance in retail. But, as with any empire, cracks eventually began to show. While the company was still thriving in the 1970s, new competitors were emerging and the retail landscape was starting to shift in ways that would ultimately challenge Sears' position at the top. So what exactly happened to Sears to pull it down from its position at the top of retail? Let's find out. The downfall of Sears started in the late 20th century. Sears was riding high, but storm clouds were forming on the horizon, and these storm clouds were in the form of competition. The presence of competitors in the market was the beginning of Sears' problems. By the late 20th century, new retail giants such as Walmart and Target started to rise. These discount retailers offered lower prices and more efficient supply chains, which allowed them to quickly become formidable competitors. While Sears continued to focus on its department store model, Walmart was revolutionizing retail with its focus on rural areas, low prices, and massive store networks. At the time, shopping malls, which had once been a major source of success for Sears, began to lose their appeal. With the rise of big box stores and suburban shopping centers, Sears' sprawling mall-based store started to feel outdated and inefficient. One of the major challenges Sears faced was its failure to adapt quickly enough to these changes. While Walmart and Target focused on optimizing their supply chains and keeping prices low, Sears' business model remained focused on catalog sales and mall locations, both of which were starting to lose relevance. This hesitation to adapt to change became a decision that Sears would regret in the years to come. Sears also faced an internal problem, which was its diversification into financial services and other non-retail ventures. In 1981, Sears bought the financial services company Dean Witter, and in 1984, it also acquired the real estate company Coldwell Banker. The company also launched its Discover card in 1985. Although these moves were meant to diversify Sears' business and make it a one-stop shop for consumers, instead of strengthening the retail arm, these ventures only distracted Sears from its main business at the time, when retail was undergoing huge changes. By the 1990s, Sears was facing serious challenges. Stores like Walmart and Target kept getting bigger, while Sears' stores, many of which were aging malls, were increasingly seen as outdated. Sears' reliance on its catalog was also becoming a liability. While the catalog had once been a revolutionary concept, the internet was starting to emerge as a new way to shop. Companies like Amazon took advantage of this new concept. However, Sears failed to adapt. But this wasn't even the biggest mistake the company made. The biggest mistake Sears might have made during this time was the decision to stop publishing the iconic Sears catalog in 1993. While the company hoped to save money by cutting the catalog, this move alienated many of Sears' loyal customers who had relied on the catalog for decades. This decision came just as online retailing was beginning to take off, and Sears missed a critical opportunity to transition its mail-order business into a successful e-commerce platform. So not only did the company not have a presence online, it also lost its presence offline when it stopped publishing the catalog. Sears also faced leadership challenges during this period. Under the guidance of CEO Arthur Martinez, the company tried to rebrand itself in the late 1990s. They introduced the softer side of Sears campaign, focusing more on apparel and soft goods rather than the traditional hardware and appliances that had made the company famous. While the campaign did have some success, in the end, it failed to turn around the company's fortunes. Sears was still losing market share to more agile and competitive retailers. As the 21st century progressed, Sears continued its downward spiral. While companies like Walmart and Target invested heavily in their online presence, Sears lagged far behind. By the time it tried to ramp up its e-commerce operations, it was too late to compete with the established players. Sears also struggled with poor in-store experiences. Many of the stores were outdated and underfunded, and customers began to associate Sears with decline and despair. The company's reliance on cost-cutting measures led to further reductions in staff, and customer service suffered as a result. A company that had once been known for quality and reliability was now seen as out of touch. Eddie Lampert's leadership only made these issues worse. Lampert's management style, often described as financial engineering, focused more on extracting value from Sears' real estate and assets rather than improving its retail operations. The company's stores were sold off and many were closed, including its historic Chicago location in 2018. Lampert also split off key brands like Craftsman, Kenmore, and Die Hard, which were among the few remaining valuable assets. After struggling for decades, in 2018, Sears finally filed for bankruptcy, marking the end of an era. By then, the company had closed hundreds of stores and its market share had been decimated. And just like that, Sears, once a titan of American retail, became a shadow of its former self. So, to the question, what happened to Sears? You should be able to see now that a combination of external competition, terrible management, and not being able to adapt to a rapidly changing retail environment eventually became the downfall of the famous retail company. The story of Sears going from grace to grass is truly one of the most dramatic business stories in American history, and we hope you enjoyed learning about it. Before you leave, please make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss a video from us. Bye for now.